Dude, the plague monk is back.
The what?
Oh my god.
The fucking plague bearer over here.
Dude, I was sick for like 2.5 days. It wasn't that bad.
Also new tattoo.
Congratulations.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah. All right. What did you have?
Oh, yeah, okay. So I told Will this already. Because I like him
Fuck me,
better.
I guess.
Yeah, I like him better. So this morning, well, okay, so let me set the stage. So I got sick. I got sick and I felt it on Monday, right? So it's Thursday now. I felt it on Monday, like immediately after lunch. I got hit with like a sack full of bricks, basically. It was like, hey, buddy, you're fucked. And so I went home and I like went through a couple days with like fevers and like bad congestion and stuff. Luckily, I'm feeling a lot better today, which is nice. But the first day I was sick, it was Tuesday, right? And as anybody who enjoys the game World of Warcraft knows, Tuesday is patch day, right? And this Tuesday specifically was a very long patch. Okay, so what is a boy to do if he's sick?
You've completed your transformation.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
Exactly, yes. So what is a boy to do when he is sick and there is no World of Warcraft?
How
Well,
do you vaccinate against the Rift? Google.com.
I wish I could get vaccinated against the Rift. It'd be very good for me. But I booted up League of Legends. Okay? League of Legends. And I was like, all right, well, like I said I was going to play one game a day, right? For this week.
Easy.
Right? So I was like, let me just get my game out of the way, right? I'll just get my game out. It'll be fine. So I queue up into quick play, and I have my preferred role is support bottom, right? I support bottom.
You support bottoms everywhere?
I support all bottoms across the world, yes.
So cool.
Yes, bottoms
Thanks,
rights,
Chat.
people.
The opposite of a selfish top is support bottom.
Anyway, so I boot up the game, right? And, my preferred role, I'm playing Nautilus, right? I select Nautilus bot, right? That is my preferred role. But I have to select another one, right? So I had a discussion with Hassan earlier last week, right? About what else I could play, right? And he was very generous. He gave me a list of champions to play, right? So from that list, I just randomly selected something that wasn't the role, right? And also wasn't a jungler because I was like, I don't want to fucking figure this shit out. Sounds like it sucks. So I randomly selected Ahri. Right? Ahri
Or
mid.
as we in the business like to call her, Ahri.
Okay, yes, that's better. Awesome. And she's a cat lady. She's a caster person, right? She uses magic spell. Right?
She uses magic spell.
Magic spells, yes. So I was like, all right, well, that's probably unlikely that I'll have to get put with my second selection. So I'll just queue up a game, right? So I queue up a game and I get Nautilus. And I'm like, fuck yes, I'm going to kill people, right? And that is exactly what I do. I go on and I am the tar pit. I'm the little cyclone that sucks people in and doesn't let them leave, right? And it's awesome. It feels so good, right? So I win that game, right? I queue up for another game. And I win, and another one, and another one. So I queue 4 games as Nautilus, right? It's just giving me Nautilus, and I'm fucking people up, right? The last game that I play as Nautilus, right? I get the S+ rating as a thing, right?
You unlocked an S+ before Michael unlocked an S+
I got-
on his fucking Nunu.
I
That
got.
he's been spamming like 10 games of a day.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Just play Nautilus. It's easy.
You see how we're like you're better than Ludwig and like you can watching Ludwig. You're already better than Michael.
I've been looking
Good
at
luck,
some,
Michael.
I've been looking at some Ludwig clips, and yeah, he's horrendously bad.
to put it lightly, it is not S+ behavior. So.
It is not S+ behavior. Yeah.
It's not, yeah. But yeah, I was super proud of myself. I was like, I don't know what that means, but like, cool. That must be good, right? So I queue up for another game because I'm like, I'm on a heater, right? I just won 4 in a row, right? It's patch day and WoW. I'm just chilling, right? So I queue up for a 5th game, right? And lo and behold, I do not get Nautilus. I'm Ahri, right? And I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh,
He said
shit.
random selection. Dude picks the only cat girl. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I showed him a couple of mid laners, and then I'm like, oh, maybe you'll like Ahri because she's like, you look at her abilities, they're very straightforward. Like there's low
there's
entry, high skill ceiling.
there's a skill shot. It comes back to you,
and then
right? There's Foxy
I believe
Foxy Pulse,
he yelled,
right?
You said she's just like insert,
Yeah,
WoW
Li
character
Ming.
here.
Yeah, like no, it's Heroes of the Storm. She's just like Li Ming, kind of.
Who the fuck's Li Ming?
She's a sorcerer from Diablo.
Oh, she is a sorcerer from Diablo. Fuck, I should know this.
Get fucked, nerd.
Wearing
Yeah, that's right.
Just wearing the Diablo
Ooh,
shirt.
that's a
Yeah,
bad
more like-
look.
more
we
like-
can cut, we
more
can
like-
cut this for you.
More like Faker of Souls, not Reaper of
Yeah.
Souls. Fake fan.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Faker's actually a compliment in this
Yeah, I was
country,
gonna say,
so-
I'm like,
okay,
thanks.
what the fuck?
Especially
ever.
on the Ahri, actually, yeah.
Ludwig of Souls, then
Yeah, that's
Aw.
tough. That's tough.
Nerd.
Sorry.
get wrecked. Anyway, so I get stuck with Ahri on this game, right? And I'm like, shit, okay. But I have on the second monitor, I've got the thing pulled up, right? I know the build. I know the order to select
how to
the
delve.
abilities. I know how to delve. I have
Brand's
the AoE.
got my back.
I got the AoE mole ability unlocked. I'm good. I'm ready to go, right?
She has single target, so not AoE, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I get into the game, right? And I'm like, all right, well, like I know I selected mid for this, right? So I know she's a mid laner. I'm going mid, right? Lo and behold, one of my teammates, he also goes mid right off the start of the game.
Oh, what was he playing? Do you know?
I showed.
Silas.
Okay.
Oh. Do you remember the rest of your team?
There's
Scion top. Samira bottom with I forget who was supporting.
Oh, so that means your jungler fucked you.
Correct.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
So I go mid, right? And I type in team chat. I'm like, hey, this is my first game as this person. Like, I'm just gonna do my best, right? And then Silas, right?
Silas.
Pops up, right? His name is I Got Grounded, by the way. I'm just fucking putting his ass on
That's
blast.
such a good
His
name.
name is I Got Grounded, right?
So yes, we are doxing him and do send him bad things.
Yeah. Yeah, his address is
Anyway, but he pipes up and he's like, get smite next time. And I'm like, hold on, what does that mean? Like, I know smite, like the context
on.
of smite.
Hold on,
right?
I have a question.
Okay.
When you press tab, they put you right next to like the opponent who you're supposed to be laning
Not
against.
in quick play.
Not in quick play?
No.
Oh, okay, then
It's
ignore me.
randomized.
Right. But I selected, so I'm confused, right? Because I know, right? I'm not super knowledgeable in the game, right? But I know, right? Smite is a jungler ability.
Yes, sir.
Right? You don't need that shit. You don't take that shit if you're a mid laner, right? Because it's not gonna help you, right? Right?
I like how you got League of Legends. That's all that I can say. But yeah, I love this.
Yeah. All right, so listeners, can you pause the video and try to think about what exactly happened? And then after you're done unpausing detective, so we can come back and discuss.
And what else could you have done to prevent this? Not
Prevent
play
this?
League of Legends.
Yes, no, that is the way that you prevent all of this from happening, right? So yeah, he tells me get smite next time, right? And I'm like, that can't be true. This cannot be true because I selected mid lane, right? And there's like, I went to the internet and I was like, how to do this person, right? And none of them were like, hey, get smite, right? So I think that he thinks that I was supposed to be a jungler, right? And then he's like, go top. And I'm like, what? I'm definitely not supposed to be up there. Right? So I go up top, right? And like, yeah, because I'm like, whatever. I'm a team player, right? The guy that was up there, he's getting kind of clapped. So I'm like, maybe I can help him out a little bit. Maybe I can kill the other top person and then we can continue, right? Other top person fucks
Driven out
my
of your
shit
land.
up. Yeah, I got bullied out of mid. Basically, that's what happened. I
And then
got
I
bullied
got
by my own team out of.
So let me tell you what happened on my end. I went home to go feed Zelda, and I get a message from you while
Mhm.
I believe I was shitting, and it said, let me pull it up because it was what?
Nice.
You got a
That's
thumbs
fucking-
down in real time.
Oh,
was
I think
so
maybe-
creepy. I don't know what that was. Anyway, that's fucking scary.
That's very funny.
Let me find the Patrick chat because it's so fucking funny what you sent me. How do I search? I believe.
Keep in mind, I probably had a fever at this time.
Oh yeah, I could tell you had a fever. Dude, I am the world's worst Ahri. Why can I not just queue as not every game? Lol. And I wrote because autofill exists. Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you
I was sad about it.
excommunicated me. You didn't talk to me for like the entirety of the day.
That's a tilter.
Yeah, I was tilted. Anyway, so I try to go top, I get fucked, right? I try to go back mid, I get wrecked, right? Because at that point, I'm like behind on minion kills and everything, behind on gold. I'm just getting owned, right? So our team just gets completely stomped,
Yeah, it happens
right?
sometimes.
Just completely stomped, right? And the enemy is like fucking our nexus up, right? They're like in the act of killing it, right? And the surrender screen is up, right? And I'm like, fuck yeah, just let this end as quick as possible.
What's your name
right?
what's your name on League again?
Rocky.
Okay.
So I'm like, just let this shit end as quick as possible, right? And what does the enemy team do? They surrender. The enemy team surrenders.
Hell yeah, brother.
So I'm not even given the satisfaction of losing this game. They take everything from me. They take everything from me.
That's right. So detectives, from my perspective, right, the information I was presented was this. His match history has him 0-4-0 on the Ahri, and it says win, and win in 15 minutes. It's like, okay, so 15 minutes is exactly when you're allowed to surrender. So I could probably see exactly this happening. So frame 1, the minute it ticked 15, that is the earliest you're allowed to...
Are you level 30? No.
allowed to even hit the surrender button. Okay, so this means that basically you were going to lose before you could even like send it
That's
yourself.
so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny.
The Scion was 0-6-0, I believe. The Silas was like 2-9, and the Samira was doing well as her support. Okay, but what I think happened is basically the person who was assigned jungle, Silas, was like, nah, I'm not doing that, and then just locked it in. And so welcome to the game of League of Legends where people will just do that. That's allowed. And
wait,
so you can report them for that.
yeah, I mean,
It works. I'm
good
just saying.
luck. But I think stuff like this will happen less in draft queue.
Yeah, for sure. Because so in draft queue, it's like I think if you break your role and people report you, like apparently League is really really tough on that shit. So,
but
just a heads up.
that means that I can't like. What if somebody like wants to be support more than me?
Then they'll ask you,
They'll
and you
ask
can just
you.
say no.
Yeah,
if you want to.
Yeah, you can say yes if you want. You can say no.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's
Yeah,
called the chat.
Yeah, I mean, like, they will literally not, like, no one's going to send reports if they ask you for the role.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, like, it doesn't make any sense to report. Anyway.
Yeah. I think I need another game as Ahri. I need a makeup.
I'm just kind of stunned that your first game as not Nautilus was just a complete non-game.
Yeah.
So,
I was so
it was
sad,
not
especially
a game.
Especially just because, like, at the end, I was like, I deserve to lose this, right? I have failed so badly. I deserve to lose.
You're like the
this,
kid that
right?
wants the parents to yell at them, but they're like, "I'm just disappointed in you."
Basically, yes.
They're like, "But mom, I'm smoking weed in front of you," and they're like, So I actually also have a League of Legends story that happened to me today.
Oh my god. Okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna play one game of League before my tattoo appointment. I just want to play a game. So I launched the fucking game. I pick Shen top. I'm having a great time against Mordekaiser. I leave lane 4-0. I'm fucking deleting people left, right, and center. My mid lane died 6 times to Pantheon.
Nice.
And I'm like, that's fine. He's Panth. He'll fall off. It's not a big of a deal. My bot lane died 8 times to Kog'Maw.
That's a lot of deaths.
Especially on Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is nuts. So I'm like, that's gonna be a little harder. Because even if I kill him, he'll just blow up on my fucking face and kill me. But like
Good shit.
it's manageable. And then And then they started to chain. So again, I have to clarify. I'm against a Mordekaiser. All right, not an easy matchup for Shen, but I still got out of there 4-0, crushed him. He was not very useful, but he was like, my objective now is to chain murder the 80 carry, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then chain murder the support, they've been chain murdered anyways.
Yeah.
And then occasionally, donate kills to them to reset their gold, and then chain murder them again.
Sure.
Because they're really bad players. I don't chat. Like I mean, like I have all chat on. In ranked games, I usually don't chat. I don't interact with chat. I just like read the comments. Sometimes I'll type like okay if I'm like feeling whatever. But like it's usually just normals. But I don't chat this game, and all of a sudden, the mid laner who's been feeding and the bot laner who's been feeding fucking go off. They're like, you're the worst Shen in existence.
Oh yeah.
You're dog shit.
That's
you're
right.
dogwater.
Oh yeah.
Look at how strong Mordekaiser is.
That's right.
Meanwhile, fucking Kog'Maw and Pantheon, 18 kills in, just fucking going to town. I have died a grand total at this point of 2 times. And I believe one of them was me trading with Kog'Maw. I got like a 600 gold shutdown.
So it's your fault. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. And the second time, I believe I died again, killing the Pantheon, which was like another 500 gold shutdown. But they were so mad at me.
Oh yeah.
Because I
You're the enemy.
believe Pantheon got a shutdown on me, which was like 200 gold. But at that point, he went from 16 kills to 17 kills. So that 200 gold, it's not gonna make a difference. Anyway, they were so mad at me, and they're like fucking typing in chat. I'm not responding. The enemy team all of a sudden shields up for Shen. They're like
for
defending me.
That's so funny.
From my team.
That's so funny.
They're like, the only guy on your fucking team who's done anything to like kill the carries has been Shen. The only guy who's saved you in team fights has been Shen. The only guy who's stopped Baron has been Shen. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
That's awesome.
They then get even more mad at me because the enemy team is supporting me, and I'm just watching this. I'm just like, I have never seen this in my life. So it's like five people on their team attacking the 2 people on our team, and then we were then starting to win the game. And then they got mad that we were winning the game, and then they called a surrender vote that we kept saying no to. And then they're like, fuck it, we don't care anymore. And they started just live typing the positions of our teammates to the enemy team because they wanted me to lose. Which, again, I've not typed. I have died a grand total of 2 times. I have like 200 CS. I don't know what I did wrong, but somehow, somewhere in this,
I love this.
This is my fault.
This is great. I agree with them. It is your fault.
And then we lose the game. Surprise. And then all of a sudden, I go to the post-game screen. 5 honors from the enemy team. Like, literally, everybody gave it to me.
That's so funny.
Crazy. It was a crazy fucking game. That was one of the more insane ones that I've had recently. And then after it was over, it was over so fast. But it was over. And I'm like, oh, I actually have time for a second game. And then I kind of looked at the play again button. I'm like, no. After that one, I need to go shower.
Yeah.
That was...
Normally, to explain this as like a wildlife observer, normally the League player finds the play button irresistible after having a stinker, but this one was just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that was insane. I got tag team bullied by 2 people for no reason. That was crazy.
So a couple things. First of all, I'm surprised they're bringing back like the honor the enemy button. Second of all, this is why, listeners, I generally speaking, don't have old chat on, so I can't even see it. And second of all, the moment my teammate says some dumbass shit, I just hold tab and I mute them. Easy game. Okay.
I always honor the enemy team when I win games because that's how I got here.
So exactly. So that's exactly why they killed the honoring the enemy. That's a very good point, Hassan. So in Korea, they were actually the main reason why this got banned. So couple things. Basically every time in like high ranked Korean games back when they first introduced honoring the opponent, they would all agree to 5 honor the person on the enemy team that fed the most, because you're like, wow, thank you so much for the win.
They got me here.
Thank you so much for the win. And so that just led to even more bullying. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Yeah. League players and trying to not make things absolutely horrid. For example, the original design for the bait ping was a fishhook.
Yeah.
But most League players don't go outside. And so this means that the fishhook looks kind of like a rope. Oh no!
Oh my god!
Yeah. So basically that also got fixed up very quick. So
Dude, what the fuck?
welcome to the video game.
So I was again, to link this over to what happened today, I was getting my tattoo, and my tattoo artist like, oh, what do you like? What games do you play? And she's like, because she said, oh, she plays Legend of Zelda, because we're talking about like my dog at one
Normal
point.
person game.
Yeah.
She's like, what games do you play? I'm like, oh, I play these and these games. She's like, oh, what game do you like mainly play? I'm like, oh, I really like League of Legends. And then the other tattoo artist from across the shop goes, ha!
Yeah. So this is where you absolutely lie.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh yeah, the game that gives you psychic damage every time you launch it. And then all of a sudden the three of us had a conversation about all the horrendous experiences we've had in League and how we all love the game at the same time.
Google, look up addiction.
No. But yeah,
Speaking of which, I'm not any better myself. So basically, I've been trying to hold myself in from trying to fucking explode when you mentioned the server being down. In WoW. So I was at work.
Vibrate.
Yeah, I was. If you zoom in and then pause, you can look. I'm vibrating very, very like small amplitudes. Anyway, yeah. So the server being down, generally speaking, in a video game. This means in a live service game, you have a version of the game that is older, and you send it forth proposed changes, and you therefore, after the maintenance, the implication is that the game is updated with these adjustments in mind.
That's right.
The reason why I'm being so formal is that hopefully if a Blizzard employee is somehow seeing this, they actually know the definition of like an update, right?
Holy shit. Actually, that was insane. Oh my god.
I don't know if this has ever been explained to you, but
So I'm not mad.
Fucking troglodyte.
No, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. So, for people who blissfully don't know anything about World of Warcraft, prepare to have your day ruined by me not only explaining World of Warcraft, but even a microcosm within that microcosm.
About the dirt of the gaming world today, aren't we?
Yeah. We're going right down. We're going right down.
All right.
Yeah. Showers not aplenty. Showers nary to be found. Okay. So, maintenance. Okay. Like, cool. So the class I play is Rogue. I don't know if I've talked about it before anyway. The spec I play.
Not only does he play Rogue, it's the only thing he plays in any game ever.
Not true. I play ADC.
You play
in
Ezreal,
League.
you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
you're right.
There is no
Ezreal.
Rogue. There's no Rogue in League.
Ezreal and Rogue.
Yeah. I don't know what you're finding so funny, but anyway. Anyway, so this big maintenance happens. I'm like, okay, like it's gonna be taking 8 hours, and then I look at the Wowhead. Wowhead is like the news articles, and like I'm looking at the thread, and people are like, oh "My God, what am I supposed to do with myself if I can't play the game for 8 hours?" And
True.
I'm like, dude, just go outside, whatever. And then like me
Pornhub.
being super normal. What? Me being super normal, like, okay, well, I mean, I have to be at work anyway, and then I see that the maintenance is down, like, has ended an hour early, and I'm
That's
like,
right.
oh my God, really? And so
That's when you know something bad happened. Actually,
Right,
you're like,
right. So this should have been my first red flag.
That's right.
And basically, the Rogue Discord is absolutely blowing up because the class no longer functions. A lot of buttons that are supposed to work just simply like don't interact properly anymore.
Yeah.
And it's been found out that basically the current leading theory is that basically they had a bad branch merging, and so certain updates or certain older versions of the game have somehow like overlapped with some actual new updates, and so we're living in this like weirdo bizarro version of the game.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so that's day one. Everyone's like, oh my God, this shit is like completely broken, including myself, and it didn't really matter for me at all, honestly. day 2 the reverse happens. Like, oh wait, everything is broken, and someone tried this thing, and essentially my class went from like, oh man, this really sucks, to like, if you press 2 buttons, you like are absolutely blasting the meters. So the entire game actually broke yesterday because of my class, and my class doesn't get invited to dungeons. My
That's
class,
right.
it's like, if you have one in your raid, like maybe you should reconsider.
Just like
it,
me in the
you
Halloween
know?
party. You're like,
Exactly.
you don't get invited, actually. You can see that there's one happening. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see the
yeah.
invite. But you're
Yeah,
not getting
you're
it.
not
No, no,
gone.
no, no,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no.
not gone.
Like, because we know what you are, and you're not
Oh.
yeah. So essentially,
I have a question.
yeah.
Why do you like your class if it doesn't get, if you don't get to play it?
It's fucking awesome.
Okay.
Have you ever had fun, Hassan?
I play Shen top
He doesn't.
and
Okay.
Gangplank top.
No, I like
Say
like
less.
engaging rotations, and for me, I just find Rogue to be the most engaging for myself because I find melee more engaging than ranged. I hate absolutely sitting still and like casting something, so that's my problem. I don't actually need to move as much as I do, but like just because I am so spammy, sometimes like it's better for me to stay still, and I have trouble like actually wanting to make my character stay still. Anyway,
Understood. Yes.
but people have like abused this bug to absolutely like all lengths. Okay, so basically I was like, okay, so this thing is a big damage gain, but we weren't like, you know, the top of single target meters to start with, and we got like an unprecedented insanely huge buff. We got buffed by like maybe 50% with this stupid ass bug. Okay, and I'm like, well, you know, maybe they'll fix it really fast, because usually game breaking things like this they don't let happen.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, 24 hours passes and they finally squash it. But in that time, the degenerates of you know, that like share the same class as me, they all do this bug. Okay.
Of course.
So
Did you
what
do the bug?
happens? No, I did not. I was strongly
Yes,
considering
Will
it,
did
but
not.
you know, basically at raid night, I was like, regardless of if I do this bug or not, this boss, unfortunately, with this group, we cannot kill it.
I
So
was gonna say, I'm
That's
like,
right.
you literally had the like game breaking bug and y'all still didn't fucking prog.
It would not have
no,
mattered.
it literally would not.
It
have
would
mattered,
not have
because
mattered.
it would have buffed my damage by a lot, but that is not nearly enough to like kill a boss single handedly.
Understood.
But some extremely degenerate things were done. You know, so Warcraft Logs is just an online website that like keeps log of like all the best like damage records and all of these things. And so for, you know, my class is like yellow text. For most of the top kills that have like 0 to 1 yellow text within like the top 10 kills,
I was told by Patrick to not ever respect yellow text.
he's correct. But now all of the logs, fuck everybody else, all of the logs now are just all fucking yellow.
That's right.
But
Overnight.
overnight is actually insane.
Yep.
So people took this bug and just went bananas with it. And there's so many funny things. Like, for example, on one boss, even though we're giga broken, Elemental Shaman currently is so overtuned that their class is working properly, but simply is keeping up with our 50% buffed version of ourselves, which is absolutely insane.
easy,
first of all.
baby. Lightning bolt for the win.
I heard about this in
Yeah, yeah.
in my D&D Discord, because one guy is playing WoW in the background and he's like, why the fuck is Ellie Shaman doing this? They should go back in the fucking ground. And I'm
No,
like, dude.
No, some people are really mad. Some people are like really nervous, like, oh my god, am I gonna like catch a ban for this? And everyone in the Rogues Discord is like, I mean, they never banned for this shit. Like, Race the World first, they like always let those guys pass. Like, there's a bug a week ago where you could like bug a mythic boss and they killed it and it was fine. So like, ain't no way they're gonna ban you. And people are like, oh, okay, like maybe I'll just go like do my key. And then like, you know, that translates over to like, we're going to do the world record highest level key. And how we're gonna do this is with 3 outlaw rogues
That's
doing the
so
same
sick,
fucking bug.
dude. That's
And
so
it's
awesome.
I actually disagree completely. It's absolutely giga cringe to do this. It's like, okay. Also, a lot of people who did this bug abusing shit, they never, even if they played rogue, they didn't want to touch outlaws. So for the one time,
I see.
so we went
I see
from
what it's
untouchable to like, oh my god, like I love this class. And so like, you know, we had people who mained the class for 2 hours, and then the bug got fixed the next day, and they're like,
I love
oh,
this.
tough.
I love this rogue v rogue.
Oh, 100%.
Rogue v rogue
No,
hatred.
no. This is, I mean, I'm not saying it's like, oh my god, I can't believe they crossed these borders to play my class. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like basically like we saw like zero love, and then I look at the people took screenshots of.
You're like the guy at the punk concert, and you're seeing new fans, and you're like spitting on them now.
That's
you're
correct.
like, oh, now
I would
all of
spit
us-
on them, but they removed slash spit from the game.
They
So you
did.
can't do
They
that.
did remove it, yeah.
But
shit.
but in the
Can you
dungeon
do slash
finder,
hawk to
oh, I totally can. Bug on that thing. Anyway, anyway, so all the dungeon finder, the group finder texts are usually like, oh, like looking for a big tank to carry this group. People are now posting keys, and they're looking for people. The texts are now like, oh, like 12 plus key, looking for rogues. Oh, like rogues only. So we've gone from this dog shit class that nobody wants, and now we're like, oh, you're so giga broken. We kind of just want all of you. I'm just like, I fucking hate everyone involved in this right now. This is insane.
Oh, God.
And today, the third day of the command, right? They fix the bug in the morning, and then the entire Outlaw Discord fucking explodes because it's like, well, this is super lame. Now they're saying that they're gonna hand out bans for people who abuse this bug, and we were good for like a night, and like, they're gonna hand out punishments to us even though they didn't punish other players. It's like, dude, you full blown knew what the exact bug was. Used it to the fullest possible extent,
Yep.
and you still have the audacity to be like,
Yep.
oh, poor me, but I'm just like any other player. No, you're fucking not. You fucking sweat? This is not true.
You're like, hey, do you see the color of your text? Yeah,
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
who you are. Remember your place, yellow.
Stay yellow.
text.
Stay yellow. Stay losing. That's right. And so so I realized that the Outlaw Discord blowing up today was my version of like Twitter drama. Like, I don't
So
have a
good.
Twitter,
So-
but like I was absolutely glued to the Discord.
So you guys added me to basically said go to the Fury Boys.
Uh-huh.
Go to the. I found my people.
Tough.
God,
I was
they're
hoping.
really
I
rough for
honestly
you.
was hoping that you wouldn't mesh with them. And be
They
like,
are
okay, maybe
so
he is normal.
fucking funny. Like,
Oh,
'cause
God.
the entire Discord is basically this is how it goes. Fury Warrior, Arms Warrior make fun of Protection Warrior because tank. Because they're a tank, they're funny.
Damn, it must really suck to get invited to groups.
Can't relate.
and then you click on the tank, like the Protection Warrior people. They're just happy to be there, basically. They're just having a great time doing their thing.
The DPS warriors are the soy jack to
Yeah, exactly. And then you go to the Fury Discord. Fury channel is hilarious. The entire thing is about how dog shit Fury Warriors, and then somebody joins who's clearly not a Fury Warrior, says that Fury Warriors dog shit. Community assemble. We make fun of him until he leaves the Discord. And then we go back to talking shit about Fury Warrior.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Yeah.
And then everybody was talking about Rogue and
Yeah.
Shaman.
Yeah.
And people were like, that's so cool that they can do that much damage. And I'm like, they're just happy for him. It's just
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
it's so much fun. I like them. and then there's one guy I was telling you, he joined and he wrote out the word, like, instead of doing Mountain Thane, he was talking about how dog shit MT was. And then people were like, that's just not true. And then eventually someone wrote, the most psychopathic thing you wrote in there isn't about the numbers, it's the fact that you wrote MT instead of Thane. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother.
Fucking nerds.
I love that chat. It's so much fun.
It's
You
so
used the wrong abbreviation.
That's
buddy.
right.
You're not welcome here.
Yeah, exactly. You just self-reported it as not a warrior.
Yeah, you
Get the
just,
fuck out of my
actually,
Discord.
you just showed yourself to be a fucking Death Knight. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, so I've been having a day of like, after a big patch, my class isn't working properly, and I'm sad. And then day 2, my class is still broken, but it's going in the other direction. I'm seeing like everyone who also plays this to just absolutely go bananas and not be
Mhm.
normal.
Yeah.
And then day 3, the funniest part about all of this after the bug is fixed, the class is still bugged. There are things that are still broken, but it just simply isn't like interesting enough to talk about after the fiasco that was yesterday. So I think people have been handed out bans, but I have to check how many people have been banned for this. This will be kind of unprecedented, I think, because like for most people that like abuse these bugs and stuff, this doesn't usually get this far. Because if it's that big of a problem, Blizzard will immediately like stamp it down.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's because probably people did like world first keys.
Yeah,
with
that's
it,
right.
right? And they're just like, nah.
That's insane.
Nah.
But they have an entire week of logs to basically wipe from history, and they should.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
They
Anyway.
should also
Yeah,
get rid of
if
the
there
elemental
was-
shaman.
No, they're just blasting. See, there's a different thing. They're just doing that much damage because the developers were like, yeah, we're gonna let you do that.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
a
also
different
why
scenario.
Ellie shamans are also at like my number 1 like hit list. So like, be scared.
They removed the AoE of Fury Warrior a little bit, like the damage.
Mhm.
And then one of the top comments in the Discord, which was really fucking funny, was Fury Warrior does too much single target damage. We will nerf the AoE aspect of Fury Warrior.
Right.
And then all WoW developers shake their head in unison and realize Fury Warrior's problem is not that they do too much damage.
Yeah, I actually saw a similar comment today. Like the entire Discord was blasting, and like the funny thing is like the Outlaw, because there's like different spec discussions, and like obviously the Outlaw one was absolutely exploding. But there's Assassination and like Sub, and they're all pretty active. But like it was such a problem that the mods actually actively started participating, and we're like, if you keep trolling, we're gonna mute you. We're gonna server mute you, okay? And then that was not enough. People just immediately jump in and kamikaze.
Yeah, of course. You got it. You're like,
And then also they turned on the slow mode chat. So if you don't know, that means if you submit one single message in the channel, you'll be on hold for another 5 minutes before you can send another one. And even with this slow-mo, the chat was moving at least like 3 times faster than the other spec discussions. One of my favorite comments was like, okay, this person is obviously salty because he was abusing the bug. And then, I don't know if he caught a ban, but he was basically saying like, okay, so we at Blizzard noticed that Outlaw Rogue was doing too much damage. This was not intended. We will now make it such that they don't do any damage. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the discussion. Goodbye.
That's so good.
Oh man. I feel like the person who pointed this out, like who made it public, is unbelievably based. So his name on the Discord is like Forever Guy, and he made it on like the forum post. He like posted publicly like, this is how you replicate the bug, and like this is how much damage contribution you would get from it. So Blizzard, please take a look at this. And so like that was bound to put it at the top of their. He was hoping at least it would put it at the top of their priority. Yeah. But all this did, unfortunately, I feel like it backfired for him, because then everyone was like, oh well, now I know how to do this perfectly.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Also, I have another WoW story that like I started the War Within campaign.
Oh, you finished? You're past level 70.
Yeah.
This is good.
Congrats. Welcome.
I think that is the most confusing dog shit quests, like as the intro to, because I've now done the intro to Dragonflight. I've done, War.
Chat, he is
Battle
mad.
Royale.
He is mad, chat.
It was dog shit. Like the quests were shit. Like immediately in Dalaran, the first quest where it's like, help the civilians. The button doesn't fucking exist. And you have to like walk into a specific pixel of a room for the thing to pop up.
Yeah.
Terrible design.
Yeah.
Then
It's a bad one.
Then you have to fight
real
like
bad one.
they're like, oh, kill the arachnid creatures, right?
Nerubians.
They're called-
Nerubians, yeah.
Still said it wrong.
Nerubians?
There you go.
Yeah.
Nerubians. Nerubian is a ancient Roman country that like.
That's
got
not
put-
who we're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
But
I
also
know.
kill them too.
Yeah. So anyway, the Nerubians fucking show up, and it's just like, help civilians.
Yeah.
And you're just like walking around. There's no fucking civilians there, but they're in the bugged shops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fucking sure.
Yeah.
And all the Nerubians are just tanks. They just eat fucking damage for 8,000
This
years.
is so funny. Like, okay, the way you're talking about this is like exactly POV. I've played games for all of my like 20 years of existence, and then I tried to play WoW.
Well, but the thing is, like, I went through the other campaigns, and the other campaigns were fine.
No, what I'm saying is basically like their like quest design is like an enigma. Like we have not yet figured out
I
what
understand,
they're trying to get
I
us to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you have no idea what you're supposed to do, and you fucking crash land on the planet, right? Like she blows up the thing. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Dalaran gets blown up, and
Dude.
fucking Khadgar.
Bleep it out.
Khadgar gets fucking annihilated like a bitch.
We don't know that.
I saw it happen. It's
He
also
he
funny.
didn't die on
It's
screen.
also very funny that he like TP'd
He did.
discount Sylvanas.
He didn't die on
Not-
screen.
That's her say.
I know he TP'd Sylvanas, discount Sylvanas.
It's not discounts. Like that.
Anyway,
okay. All right.
he TP'd her, and then he couldn't TP himself.
Yeah.
Like he had all
No,
that
cuts-
fucking time.
Cutscene death. You
Yeah,
have
he-
to die.
Anyway,
But not actually.
Anyway. So point in case, we crash land, and then they're like, save the civilians in the middle of a battlefield. You can't walk 2 centimeters without aggroing like 18,000 ads.
Actually, the unit of distance in WoW is yards. But
Yeah.
carry on.
Yes. Sorry. You can't walk if you 2K yards that you have to walk to like the nearest civilian that is not highlighted and doesn't tell you where to go. I did not have any of these problems with any of the other expansions. So what the fuck happened?
Hassan, just for a moment.
One last thing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
One last thing.
Okay.
Then they're like, before you in Dalaran, you fight the queen's fucking cockroach demon that protects her. Right? You have to like fight him,
Yeah.
and you 1v1 his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like it takes 2 seconds. You're on the battlefield. You see him again, and you're like, all right, I can fucking. You cannot take him. He all of a sudden has like 18 gajillion health.
Yeah.
Takes 2 damage with every hit, and then kills you. Because for reasons, even though they told you, hold him off. Like, what the fuck is this? What am I supposed to do here? I think I died like 8 times. I'm not even joking. It was the most confusing.
That's
match.
actually so funny.
I was so confused.
Oh, you're getting gapped by a campaign quest.
Oh.
Damn.
I'm honest, like because I wanted to like fucking finish it, so I wouldn't even hit the ads.
Lord,
You know, so I
let
had-
it be known that it's not your fault, but go on.
I had an so I had an inkling that would be a problem for you when you said that the bugs in Dalaran were an issue.
Well, no, they weren't issued. They just I can kill all of them. It's just if
Yeah,
I
you
drag.
said you had a long time to kill them though.
Yeah, it
It
takes.
took a long time.
Well, the big ones take a little bit of time, but like everybody who was on there with me all had the same issue. Like the Death Knights had the issue, so did the fucking what's his name? Not the Necromancer. What are they called? Warlock. Yeah, the Warlock also had that issue.
That's so funny. I can't believe you died. That's hilarious.
No. To be fair, I only died when like I got annoyed of fighting, and I would just run around and click the fucking terrain to find the civilians, because I didn't want to fucking fight them anymore. So I would just have like a collection of ads. I would stun them, jump, fucking do the quest, then collect
that's right.
more
Because
ads.
Fury Warrior doesn't do AoE damage. So you
Exactly.
can't- You
No,
you
I-
have
I-
more than one, and it's over.
I would then collect more ads, then do battle cry, and they all run away from fear. Do the next set of the quest, and I'm like, oh, I have too many. I'm just gonna go kill myself, run into the crowd, die, and then like go back with my spirit, respawn, do it all. And that was faster than just killing these fuckers
That's
for
the
18 hours.
That's the most fucking warrior ass response I ever
It
heard.
really is.
It's like I didn't die because it killed me. I died because I stopped fighting.
I literally stopped
So,
fighting.
get
I literally
fucked,
didn't touch my
idiot.
keyboard.
Literally, me dying is actually not my fault. My healer didn't get me there. So.
No,
That's
but
right.
but I don't know. If I wanted to kill them, I can kill them. It's just I didn't want to do it.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so you're talking about the quests and how the quests are confusing, right? First of all, I agree with you. Those quests were confusing as fuck. The ones in Dalaran sucked. They were super bad, right? But just to remind you, just about a year ago, you were playing World of Warcraft Classic, whose quest design
Yeah.
is fucking worse than
No,
that.
I understand,
And you
but
didn't
what I'm
complain
saying
about
is,
that.
yeah, because first of all, we were playing Classic, which means this was like the first-ish iteration of the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have some forgiveness from like they didn't really know what the fuck they were doing.
They still don't.
Yeah, they still don't know.
But they
yeah.
did in like Battle for Azeroth and Dragonflight.
Yeah, it's true. The intro quests were.
So I can't say I remember much of it, but like I think for the most part that like the problem with a lot of their campaign quests sometimes are like people find their instructions extremely confusing because certain times they're like, oh, to be more immersive instead of like being more direct in what your objective actually is, we're going to explain it a little bit more loosely. So like instead of like, oh, you have to hold off like 3 waves of enemies in this unskippable cutscene it's like, oh, hold off the enemies, 0
Yeah.
out of 1 completed, you know?
Yeah.
So like certain things like that, it's like, okay, so after sitting through like many hours of like their like not they're like open world
Mhm.
game design, like I've come to speak their language.
Yeah.
But it's not your fault.
No,
at all.
save civilians was awesome. I'm like,
yeah.
it's like the middle of a battlefield.
Yeah.
Where are the civilians? And then the best part was the civilians were the rocks at the edge of the field. And I'm like, you want me to click on the fucking rock? And you click on the rock, and then you break the rock, and then out comes civilians. Like, that is the most fucking
Yeah.
stupid ass. And then the other one was purify crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a giant walking crystal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, surely.
No. No, the random ones lodge in the ground.
Oh yeah. I was like, surely, right? Because it says malfunctioning crystal giant.
Yeah.
I have thing to fix crystal. Walks up to malfunctioning crystal giant.
Yeah.
Clicks button.
Good thought. Good
And
thought.
it says this
Invalid target.
Invalid target.
Yeah.
And then malfunctioning crystal giant goes,
Yeah.
hey buddy. Exactly.
And like during all of these like quests where like you have to save people or you have to do this very specific thing, your character suddenly like knows how to do all the shit. So like me as a rogue, they're like, oh man, go use like your magical ability to like heal these creatures
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
heal these crystals. And then my Tauren ass walks over and I do one. I do one of those and like the crystals fix. I'm like, shit's so easy. What do mages even fucking struggle with? What are you fucking talking about?
Fucking get
What
it,
do you
dude.
mean? Dude?
But like,
how's
again,
that a class?
again, coming off of literally having done Dragonflight the day before, what the fuck happened? They need to hire those guys. They need to fire whoever did that quest line and hire the because Dragonflight was sick. You got on.
Yeah, no, the
They
intro
were immediately like, hey, we have to go to the base camp, kill the fucking proto dragons, collect their shit.
Yeah.
Easy, dunzo.
Yeah, and then
Go
you
to the
establish like a foothold in a city. And
Yeah,
you're, like,
and it's
getting
like super
introduced.
fun. And
Yeah.
then they're like,
no, it's good.
go to the fucking giant
good.
dragon slayer camp, fucking kill those fuckers.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. You go there, you kill them. This
Yeah.
one was save civilians, help civilian. I'm like, help civilian? What the fuck does that mean? I walked up. No. It was eating cheese. I was just like, I walked to the store. Everybody seems fine. I'm like, who am I helping? And then all of a sudden, there's a tiny little emblem that has a cheese on it. And I'm like, the shit? And I click on it, and all it does is my troll eats a block of cheese. And gives a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then hearts appeared.
Right.
And it says how civilian helped.
Yeah. One out of 8
We're
civilians
going
helped.
to war. Why am I eating cheese?
You're just supposed to click. It's just a little click adventure. Everything that isn't combat. You just have to go like, oh, okay. I walk over and I
then
save these people. It's like,
and they're like, Bronzebeard has a coma. Go talk to Bronzebeard. And I'm like, okay. So I follow the arrow, and I can't figure out where the fuck to go because it's fucking Dalaran. Because it was made by a person who fell asleep halfway through. Definitely.
okay, so the problem also with Dalaran is now there are 3 versions. Of
I
it.
mean, thank God it's been destroyed because it needed to be. Is what I'm saying.
So there's one in Northrend. There's one in the like what is it called? The
Broken
Isles.
Broken Isles,
And then finally one that is in the fucking ground.
Yeah. The one in the ground is the one I support. I'm on Team Knife Wife here. So what I'm saying is, they're like, go talk to Bronzebeard, and I'm fucking walking around, and I Google. I'm like, where the fuck is Bronzebeard? And then they're like, listen, it makes perfect sense. You just have to walk in this alleyway. Take a right into the building, and then there's a beam of light, and you just walk into the beam of light. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah. So if you just didn't know that there was a portal there, that's like on you.
The other thing,
the other thing
that pissed me off was like, they're like, oh, you pick up one of these quests and like, oh, take the portal to wherever the fuck, I don't remember the name, like to finish this quest line. It was a side quest, but it was still part of the Dalaran quest line, which takes you back to Orgrimmar.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay. So I go back to Orgrimmar, and then they're like, take the portal to the Azusa bullshit.
Oh yes.
And I'm like, oh yeah. So I walk through, no Dalaran,
No,
and it
that's-
says like 2,000 feet that way.
Yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
one might assume that the base in-game navigation system will tell you the correct places to go. If portals are involved, it doesn't know what the fuck is
Yeah. So I go through the fucking portal. I appear on the other
so
side, and I'm
good.
like, where Dalaran?
Yeah.
And I thought I missed the portal.
No.
So I go back to Orgrimmar
No,
and
no.
read each portal, and I'm like,
None
no,
of
this is the
these
one I
say
want me to go to.
no. None of them say Dalaran because there's not a portal to Dalaran. Silly.
There's not a portal to Broken Isles,
Yes.
Dalaran.
Yes. But there is a
if you
portal
were
to
astute-
another one.
Yes, there is the portal to the OG Dalaran,
That's
which
right.
actually is not the location of the OG Dalaran.
Yes, this is also true. Originally,
Yes.
it was not in the sky.
Well, long
Yeah.
story short, I'm Team Knife Wife, and I'm happy she took that cursed place out forever. Like, I don't ever want to see it ever again.
Yeah, so adventurers, if we don't know where Dalaran is, there's a couple things you can try. I'm pretty sure for all characters now, it is automatically a toy in your toy box.
Oh,
I think
Hearthstone.
you might have to go through the
The Legion campaign.
the
a
Legion
bit.
campaign
Okay,
up to that point.
Fine. So if it's not in your inventory, you do take you take the portal and it takes you to Azuna.
Yeah, I just flew
Yeah.
up. I eventually
That's
figured it
right,
out.
that's
I
right.
figured it
Yeah.
out.
And
But what
then
I'm
it
saying is
doesn't
it's stupid.
No, it's stupid as shit because it's like, okay, well,
I'll
where
be
do I
honest,
go
it was
now?
kind of cool, though. I was just like, where the fuck? And I look up, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I have dragon.
No.
Yeah.
They took
Dragon,
Pa-
yes.
they took
Dragon.
Patrick from SpongeBob's advice. Actually, quite literally, we will take Dalaran and
Yeah.
we will move it over here.
That's right.
That's the
Take it
strategy they've been going
move it
with.
somewhere else.
That's right.
But thank God it is now gone.
Yeah,
It's gone around, and I'm very happy. So,
there you go.
wait,
There
if
you
I
go.
go to the Broken Isles right now, will Dalaran still be in
Yes.
the end?
Correct.
Why?
Because that expansion still needs to function.
They need
Yeah.
to remove it for everyone.
No.
Just don't you have a fucking time dragon that can take you back?
Correct.
To
Yes.
previous
Because-
seasons of
And
the
that's
game?
why it's there. and it's
Because
fine.
they
that's how they
need
explain it all.
their expansions to all kind of be live and functioning at the same time.
Because
They go, oh, timey-wimey dragon
Yes.
can
Why?
take you there.
yes,
Why?
why do you need all of them to work at the
Why
same
do you
time?
need
Let
them?
me tell you
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
Because
explain,
the
explain,
true
explain,
end
explain,
game of
explain.
World of Warcraft is collectible.
He's not wrong, but that's not where I would have started.
Listen to me. You can make it such that they become rare because they're not accessible anymore.
No, wrong.
You
That is
don't-
that
you
is
do
the
not-
most.
okay,
Actually,
okay,
you actually stumbled onto the most cringe take possible. That's actually crazy.
or you could just go like, hey, fucking time dragon, TP me to the fucking,
that version.
place you want to go, and then you're by yourself there because you're gonna be over leveled for everything anyways.
No. So okay, so there's such a thing as
You have
Chromie.
an instance. What?
Chromie time says
Chromie
basically,
time
hey,
is a fucking piece of shit.
it is a piece of shit. But let me explain. It basically says, hey, guy,
Sorry.
guy who pays for the sub, but you don't want to boost your character. How about this? If you want to level a character, instead of leveling it through the exact same expansion every time, you get to choose. You can choose like, oh, maybe you can level through Warlords of Draenor for some reason.
Yeah, I like that. But just make it instance. You'll fucking go there.
No, but you can't. It's a whole ass continent. They can't make regular instances work. How are they
Yeah.
gonna instance a whole fucking continent?
I'm sorry, I forgot. This is just Blizzard, the small indie developer.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
No, you're expecting a baseline amount of reasoning, and like
Sorry,
that's just not.
sorry, I forgot. But long story short, the other thing that bothered me about this fucking expansion, which is stupid as shit,
It's
was
so
I
funny.
summoned my fucking
It's so funny.
I summoned my fucking mount, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, press spacebar.
Fly.
Press spacebar.
Why can't we fly, chat?
And then I look down halfway through. I'm like, oh, why the fuck are there abilities now? It's just, you could have at least let me know. I understand how they work, but like, you could have let me know that like you can't just press spacebar to fly anymore after I've been doing this for like 30 hours.
Yeah. So basically.
Also, why can't I do that? Why can't I fly normally in the rest of the world?
Okay. So okay.
It's just-
Okay. So this is really funny actually because I forgot about that. They introduced dragon flying or dragon riding last expansion because it's
Yeah.
called Dragon Flight,
Yeah.
and everyone loved it. But this is where they introduced dynamic flight. You have like vigor points, and you
Uh-huh.
can like speed up, and you can like do dives.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah, it's
very
fucking
cool.
fun. It's
Yeah,
very
you-
cool.
you- But
I
before
was
this
fucking
point-
with it for like an hour yesterday.
No,
It's a
but
good time.
But
you got
before
fucking
this-
owned.
But before this point, the only type of flying that ever existed was like you hover in place and you move straight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
what.
in the
That's
skin.
all I've been experiencing.
That's correct. But the problem, right? The problem is that they're supposed to explain this in excruciating detail
Yeah.
through Dragonflight.
I want to excruciatingly detail myself through a shredder.
Okay,
Yeah.
so before the trajectory was like in a new expansion you can't fly instantly. You have to. This is pre-Dragonflight era. You have to play through the entire expansion.
Yeah.
Then you have to get a certain achievement to be able to
Yeah.
then fly in that zone.
Which
Yeah,
is
that's-
called
that's
the
basically what happened in
right.
whatever it's called.
But in Dragonflight, they said the core part of this mechanic is like we want you to be able to fly instantly. So they said, fuck all that. You get to Dragonfly immediately, and everyone was so happy.
Yeah.
And so now, in place of the reward of those achievements of flying, you get to fly normally if you would like to. You can toggle between dragon riding and like I don't know what they call the regular flight.
I can't remember.
Anyway, so now the new default for the game in all zones that are newer than Dragonflight is you get to Dragonflight to start with, but you can't regular fly.
Yes, I learned this.
Yeah,
I
but
was
look,
very annoyed
That's so funny. That's
because
so
that's
funny.
another thing why that because I basically was in the battlefield, right, and I'm like I can just fly around. Is what I've been doing before
Mhm.
to find the objective.
Yeah.
Yes.
Problem was, I was fighting like 700 things at the same time, and I'm like, this is fucking annoying. I want to fly, so I summoned the mount after I killed everything. Can't fucking fly. Don't have time. Don't pay attention to the fact that there's now shit in my hotbar. Dismount and just start fighting my way through everything again.
I just imagine your characters. So your character is like this Tauren warrior. You get on.
Excuse you, I'm a troll.
He's a
Sorry,
troll.
you're I'm as a Tauren. That's my bad. So okay, you're a troll warrior. You get on your mount that can fly. It's probably like a Pegasus or something.
No, it's the dragon from Dragonflight.
Oh, okay. You get on your proto drake, and like it does like a little bunny hop in the middle of the
Yes.
glade, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
And then behind you, a goat fucking aggro's onto you and knocks you off your fucking dragon, and you're like, what the fuck? And then this thing repeats for like 3 hours straight.
I was so fucking mad. The only reason I found out what was going on was I finished this whole area, right? Some random motherfuckers arrive from the nearby town, and they're like, well, he throws a hammer, and the thing that I 1v1'd before
Yeah.
dives under the ground.
That's right.
And I'm like, all right. And I think they give me a fucking another mount.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It looks ugly as fuck, so I'm like, get the fuck out of my inventory. And then I fly over to their encampment, right? And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then they're like, you have to fly. You literally have to fly. Like, and I'm like, okay, I don't understand what you want me to do here. I've tried like 4 times. So I summon the dragon, and then I see the like hotbar items. I'm like, oh, okay. So I press. I'm like, oh, and now I understand what's happening here. This was
Oh, I think this could have evolved even further. Like, oh, this hotbar is just part of the quest. I see.
yeah. Oh my god, I was so fucking pissed.
That's
I love
actually
the thought of
so
I
fucking
love the
funny.
thought of your troll. You're just like, all right, okay, all right, yeah, no, thanks, dwarf. Yeah, no, thanks. We killed the guy. Yeah, no problem. You want me to go to your house? Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah. I mean, do you have some way to get there? And the dwarf's like, I mean, I think.
I'll see you there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and he just fucking goes.
Yeah. And then
he's
there's
just
all
like,
these rings and shit. Exactly.
God, I don't know how I'm gonna.
I genuinely saw it in the
How am I
distance.
gonna make it?
I'm not even joking because this was happening just before I was playing D&D with my friends, right? And I'm like, I just want to get to a fucking like spot where I can log off and like an inn. And then this guy comes. I'm like, finally, I get to go to civilization. I have to be around these fucking creatures. And then he basically takes off, right? And I see the city in the distance. And I'm like, I'm logging off in a field. that was my frame one thought.
Yeah, I don't think I need rest of XP actually.
I was so pissed.
that's so funny. Also, this is an excellent time to like just off topic a little bit, but this is an excellent time to like level up because the anniversary event is going on.
Yeah.
So if you go do that shit, you'll get like a huge buff, and you'll probably hit 80 even sooner.
Oh, they also just give you so much free shit
Yeah,
because
they
the
give you
anniversary
free-
right now. I have
yeah.
like so much free XP. It's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my experience. Fucking the immediacy of fucking war within.
Yeah.
I wanted to war within the fucking game and kill myself. I was so mad. Basically, I'm not even joking. My brain went, if you cannot fly in this expansion, I am not playing this expansion. I'm gonna go somewhere else, get to fucking level 80, and then come back and do whatever I need. But then you reminded me, you're like,
Problem,
well, you
Hassan.
have to do the fucking campaign to do anything in the fucking expansion.
That's right.
So I'm like,
Correct.
Yeah.
Also, a problem is like going to other places involves like knowing how the portals work. So
actually,
luck with that.
I that's the thing. I understood how the portals work.
no,
until it
but
was
like
Dalaran.
actually understand how the portals
I
work.
mean, I went between like, what's it called, the stand up troll land and
Zandalar.
an
It's
Orgrimmar.
called Zandalar, yeah.
Yeah, fucking Zandalar, sure. King is fucking asleep at the fucking wheel.
Okay, so
heard me.
you're shit talking a guy who hasn't been relevant for like 6 years, but go off, King.
Yeah.
That was 6 years ago?
Man, I don't fucking know. I
It's been
just
a long
said it.
time.
I just
mean,
said
it's
it.
like, it was pre-COVID.
So you're
The
telling me
expansion
that
came out before COVID.
It was like 2018.
COVID is
right?
what got the good quest designers?
2020.
COVID got the good quest designers.
I mean, there's a lot of things got good
People
quests.
didn't like BFA, but go off, King.
I loved BFA.
what was wrong with BFA?
They had a lot of other like.
There's
I
other.
mean, there are other things.
Okay. But that was what happened there. The other thing I just wanted to mention before we head out was when I was getting the tattoo, I realized that my pain tolerance is fucked because I was falling asleep.
That's so funny.
The only reason the lady was talking to me and everything, and then there was like a lull in the conversation, and she's like, oh, this particular part hurts, like we're getting close to your elbow, and I shit you not, my eyes were like so heavy, I'm like, I don't feel shit. I'm like, I'm 3 seconds away from falling asleep because I've been laying down for so long that the melatonin has built up.
Yeah. 0 attention span plus 0 pain tolerance equals this. This is crazy.
Sleepy boy hours. I know you're stabbing me a few 100 times a second, but it's nippy nap time.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh,
yeah.
goddamn.
You want to close out with?
Speaking of not feeling things properly, I guess. I last week I did something really dumb. I thought I was gonna get to this much sooner, but we kind of went on video game talk for the whole fucking time.
But
So
we have time. It's like,
No.
but tell me.
but all gamers unite. Anyway, so last week I visited my partner's family in Arizona, and thank God the only time I visited it was like sub 100. It was actually like 60s, 70s.
In Arizona, did the people die from heat under exhaust?
It was close. It was close from the cold. Yes. But I was like, oh my God, it actually feels really nice out. I'm gonna go for a run. And then I was like, okay, the run around this block
Oh no.
is like, and then we were just me and my partner were like guesstimating like, oh, this block is like 4 miles. Like this is what I usually do, and like it'll be fine. So like, okay, so I go on.
Strava?
Yeah, I got Strava. But I was doing this on Google Maps because I just did from location to one corner of the
Yeah.
square,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
I did it around,
I
or
see.
I was like just like guesstimating around. Like, okay, so if I finish this entire loop, this will be 4 miles. So I leave and I like finish one leg of it, and I make the right turn. I'm like, this don't feel right. I'm like kind of tired, chat. This doesn't make any sense. And I'm running, and it's like kind of hilly, and I'm like making the bend, and I'm
Chat,
like,
is distance different in Arizona?
it is.
Did Waymo buy the entire city?
They
And they're
did.
Like, we're now changing to feet.
That's right. To yards even. Anyway, the entire path is fucking hilly as hell, and I make the second bend, and I'm on the second to last leg of the square. And I'm like, I mean, is this really going? We're still going? What the fuck? I'm like going through my songs and stuff. Like my AirPods weren't working, so I was borrowing my partner's mom's AirPods, and they had the old kind. And actually, during the run, it started with like 95%. It like died.
Oh boy.
So I was like, okay, well, like I'm gonna keep running, but now I'm gonna just play Sabrina Carpenter out loud, and like I'm only this
Go
grandma's
off.
gonna judge me or something.
You're putting like a target on your back.
That's
in
right.
Arizona. That's fucking dangerous.
No, it's okay. The grandmas out there like her. Anyway, and I'm like, what the fuck? Wait, how have these died? I must have been out here for a while. And so usually my runs are like about 30 minutes or like a little bit less. I'm like, oh, I've been out for like an hour and I'm still running. What the fuck is going on? And I'm like, okay, fine. This last bend, I finally make it up the hill. All right. But I make one final fuck up, which is like I go up the street and there's like, I know the street name, right? And I see the street name pop up and I'm like, okay, cool. I take a left here and I go down the entire street. Like, where the fuck is the house? I don't know where the fucking house is. I run down the street. I run all the way back up the street. I'm like, okay, maybe if I continue like running up the original street and I see that street name here breaks off, and then further up the street, it's reformed again, and it's the same fucking street name.
Yes.
So they're slightly offset.
yeah.
Yes.
But they're the same.
Yeah. This happens in LA too a lot.
Yeah. And so I was dying, and I'm like, finally, I'm home. And that last street, like, double back made me just, it's just so depressing.
You get the worst thoughts.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it today.
That's right. And I finally make it home. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Okay, so I want us to guess how much I ran.
Okay, so you said you usually run about
Like
4
4?
miles,
Yeah.
and that takes you 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and you realize you were an hour in. I feel like you ran like 10 miles.
I'm gonna guess 7.
So I was really dying. So what happened was I was going full blast until like the first turn, and then I was like really dying on this one because it was like extremely hilly. And then I was like sort of recovering, and I actually recovered my I guess like first segment pace like towards the end.
Okay.
So like averaging out, like my slowest pace was like 9 minute, like 9.5 minute mile, but my fastest pace was, or like my faster-ish pace was like low 7, high 6 minute mile. And so the overall time was actually just 7.5 miles. But I was like, I finished, and then Strava was like, oh, congratulations, you hit like your 10K PR. I'm like, no, Strava, I didn't do a 10K. And like, oh, sorry, actually I did.
You're like, why are you using kilometers?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. How many yards was this?
Yeah.
Why the fuck when I press spacebar I can't fly?
Yeah. So I got a sinking feeling like when I was making my way through like the first
Way
like,
downtown. Sorry.
That's right. I was making my way down the block, and I was like fucking dying. And I was like, this does not feel right. But I already mentally was set on I am going to complete this square no matter what.
That's mental energy that I could never, because I hate running.
Oh.
I feel like if I was in your position, I would just Ubered back.
Well, okay, that's crazy.
Okay, that's the craziest answer.
But okay,
That's the craziest
what I'm
answer.
saying is like I never would have set out for this run if I knew the full loop was 7.5 miles, because I'm like, I ain't gonna fucking do that. That's crazy. But at least because the takeaway is basically if I set my brain to do something and continuously lie to myself, then I can do anything.
Yeah.
And that is the takeaway, chat. As long as you don't know what you're doing, you can do anything.
So, okay, actually, I'm so sorry for dragging this episode out, but you saying the running thing has reminded me of something. There's like these TikToks. So when I'm on TikTok, there's this one thing. I usually skip past the fucking Subway Surfers ones. I don't watch them.
Oh no, I watched those to completion.
Yeah.
I let it loop a few times.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
slower.
yeah.
You slow down.
Yeah,
the video.
yeah,
They have
yeah.
more Subway.
Actually,
Surfers.
open a couple more tabs.
Okay. So basically, there's one of those farm accounts that basically pulls a segment from a radio show, and it's called Second Date Update. And at first, I thought these are all fake stories, and I looked it up, and apparently they're not fake stories. And there's one guy who basically goes like, yeah, I went on a date with, like, he's like, oh, this girl Stephanie, she wrote in, like, you didn't, like, why didn't you call her back? And his story is actually just like, oh, like, her first date idea was a fucking walk and then go to the grocery store. And he's like, it's like this he just didn't like it. But that was besides the point. That just reminded me because he's like, I just didn't want to fucking
Actually,
walk.
fuck Stephanie.
Because he's like, I was annoyed that I had to carry her fucking groceries back then. He's like, was this a date or did you just not want to carry your groceries home? Like, what the fuck? Which, again, I was like, you know what? Sure. It was but like, there's one where the lady was psychotic. This is the one I had to like look up. I'm like, are these real stories? And they're like 100% verifiably real. So this guy sent them a message like, hey, I really want to know like what happened in the second. Like, why didn't she call me back? The usual story. He's like, I just had like the date went great, and then all of a sudden I had like just a really bad stomach pain, and I didn't want to, and I like, he's like, I just had to go to the restroom, and I told her like I have to go to the ER because like something is wrong with me.
Oh.
So, but then she never called him back. So he just wanted to know like what happened. So the premise of the show is that the radio show calls the person, asks the question, and at the end there's like the reveal that the other person is still on the line. This is trash radio. I fucking love it. I have a problem. So I will always listen to these. But this lady is actually psychotic. She basically halfway through the date like just didn't like the guy and then slipped laxatives into his food. So I was like, that's why I'm like, this story isn't real. This story isn't real. So I looked it up, and apparently it is real, and like he pressed charges because she just drugged him.
Poisoned him.
She just
Holy shit.
That's so funny.
And she's like, she's on the other line, and they're like, you did what? And she's like, yeah, I put laxatives in his food so that he had to go to the bathroom and then go home. It was just a little stomach ache. And then the two radio hosts are like, ma'am, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is crazy. She's like, no, I've done this before. Like, I just need a guy who can keep me entertained. Like, this is the easiest and fastest way to get out of the date. And then they bring him back. And they're like, he's on the other line. The guy's like, I had to call off from work for a week because I had like such bad stomach like issues that the mucus layer of my intestine was damaged for a week. Like, she gave him so many laxatives, like just so many laxatives. And then she's like, yeah, I've been doing this to multiple guys. And now like, okay, this is crazy. So I look it up and like, there's a class action lawsuit against this lady because she did it like 10 times or something.
Bro, that's insane.
So
your date game is so bad you cannot end a conversation that does not involve laxatives.
that's crazy. Poisoning the other person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But also, I like to imagine, like, obviously this is none of the guy's fault, but I like to imagine that, like, the conversation was...
I defend your women.
No, I'm imagining
the conversation.
I'm imagining the conversation is so bad that she's like, I have no other recourse.
He's like, and then Khadgar teleported discount.
That's exactly. No, but so you don't understand. So as a rogue, if you click between the eyes with the thumb, like, this is exactly what happens. And in that situation, you definitely do poison him. Like, that's for sure what you do.
Basically, if they show you this podcast,
it's
your free game.
No, if you find out he plays yellow class, like, get the fuck out of there.
It's over.
Fuck out of there.
Oh yeah, that shit was fucking crazy. Oh.
Okay.
Anyway.
Wow.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah,
All
that's probably a
right.
good place to
See
end.
y'all later. Peace.
All right, peace.